Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your Marshal, Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
Austin.
Today we're playing Deadlands, Savage Worlds Adventure Edition.
Yeehaw.
In case you corn-tooting buckaroos out there don't know about Deadlands, it's a Wild West RPG with all sorts of evil magic and ghosts, spirits, and clowns, and one guy from a place called New York City.
New York City?
Yeah, takes place in the 1800s, late 1800s, 1880s, around there, sometime after the Civil War. It's a Wild West that has been modified by ghosts and demons and stuff called Ghost Rock.
This Wild West is actually set in the western portion of Canada.
Yep. The Western Territories
You
of
don't
Canada.
hear about that in the movies
Nope. We start out in Manitoba.
because it's boring as shit.
It's much quieter.
Yeah.
There's not as many movies.
And hardly any shooting.
Yeah, they just have nice trading posts and they get along.
Yeah. Just Jeremiah Johnson and McCabe and Mrs. Miller. That's really it.
You don't see the Canadian westerns. They did not take hold of the zeitgeist back in the day, like the spaghetti westerns did.
Yeah, you never had the maple westerns.
Right.
It's just guys cutting trees for 2 hours.
or trading pelts.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, sure.
Well, because Canada, it would look like a documentary today.
Oh, hey there, you want to go cut down some trees, Lumberjack Phil? Oh, I do, Lumberjack Bob. And they go off and they cut down a tree, and that's the movie.
Hand in hand, skipping.
Well, yeah.
Once again, we apologize to all nations.
Canada?
Not Canada.
Yeah.
They don't deserve it.
Yeah, I like them.
Well, howdy there, stranger. What are you looking at? Well, I think I'm looking at my new best friend.
There was not a lot of conflict in this.
Want to trade guns?
So we made characters. We did our session 0 as we usually do. And that's on our Patreon. If you're interested, you can go to patreon.com/bastardquest.
There was a shooting.
There was a shooting. But there's also lots of other stuff on our Patreon, lots of other session 0s and special episodes that no one else will hear because they're usually too crude.
I found out that son of a bitch Austin had a D20 up his sleeve.
So before we get into the characters, I'm going to give a very, 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 very brief overview of the Savage World rules. Savage World has been around for a while, and Deadlands has been around for a while. Deadlands came out in the late 90s. It's the first time I remember playing it. So one of the core tenets of the Savage Worlds rule set is that players, villains, monsters, these are special kind of characters. They're called wild cards. The wild card in the core rules of Savage Worlds, when you roll a trait, which is an ability or a skill, you're rolling a D4, a D6, a D8, or so on, whichever is representative, and you want to roll a 4 or higher. So if you had a strength of 6 and you were trying to lift a wagon wheel to repair the wagon, you'd roll a D6, and you want a 4 better. If you're a wild card, you always roll whatever your appropriate die is and a wild die. And if either of them are successful, you keep the successful one.
And anything more specialized, we would use a skill rather than an attribute, right?
Yeah. The game calls both attributes and skills traits, but there is a difference. There can also be modifiers. If a task is harder, you might have a minus to your roll or a bonus. But as far as I know, the difficulty itself will never change. It's always 4. It never goes up or down. You might have plus or minuses to your roll, but it's always going to be 4 is what you're trying
The
to
target
do.
number will be the same.
Correct.
Cool. I like that, actually.
If you roll the highest number possible on a die, you get to roll that die again and add it to the total. So if you're rolling a D6, you roll a 6. You roll another D6, and if you keep rolling 6s, you keep going. That's called acing. They're also called raises. If you beat your target number by 4, that's a raise. And you can have multiple raises. If your target was a 4, if you roll a 12, then you got 2 raises. If you roll a 13, still 2 raises. You have to beat it completely by 4. Now, one of the downsides of the wild die is if you roll snake eyes, that is a crit failure. There are also bennies. This is slang for benefits. These are points that you guys start out with, and you can spend a benny to completely re-roll all your dice. And you take the better one. So if your first roll was better than your reroll, you keep the first one. You can also use those to soak rolls to take less damage from a deadly attack, but we're not going to get into all the details of that right now. That's the core mechanic for Savage Worlds. Deadlands, I don't believe, modifies it in any way. Obviously, it adds additional things to the game. So if you were going to play this, you'd want to get the Savage Worlds book. The Explorer Edition is what I have, and then the Deadlands book, and you're good to go.
Now, Kyle, did you tell me that in previous editions of Deadlands, it did not follow the Savage Worlds system?
So I don't remember what the core mechanic was for Deadlands when it first came out, I know that you did use playing cards in some capacity, but I want to say, and this could very well be wrong, so take this with a grain of salt, that Deadlands came out first, it was a big hit, and then later they developed the Savage Worlds rules based on Deadlands and expanded it out, because you can play lots of different settings with Savage Worlds.
Ah, I see. Okay. All right. So Deadlands is the egg.
I believe so.
Kyle did mention drawing playing cards. We do have decks that will affect events and actions and things like that. We'll get into that as we go through.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about that right now. But, most people probably have a deck of cards laying around their house, so...
So if you're listening, get one out and play along. Maybe.
And get your gun out, too, and play along. Every time the gang shoots somebody, you fire. Into the street. We want to be safe.
Right.
Yeah, open a window.
So... yeah, of course, open a window. Right. Todd, tell us about your character.
Well, my name is Claiborne Jones, but you can call me Crackety. Everybody does.
Okay.
He's 6'6". He weighs 229 pounds. He's a fighter. He's a brawler.
Jesus.
He's a big dude. Yeah. He has a horse named Grits. He has a Bowie knife called the Genie.
Well, and your horse is based on Patreon member Grits, right?
Correct. I call it the Genie because it lives in my jeans and it grants me wishes when I want to kill somebody.
Okay. Sure.
And then he also has a Colt Dragoon pistol.
All right.
Yeah. He calls that one Andy Luck.
Because...
Andrew Luck was the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
So your gun's gonna stop really soon, like
Exactly, yeah.
way earlier than it should.
Yeah, it's got like a 5-year time limit
Got
on
it.
it. Yeah. And it gets concussed, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'm done. Then it's going to go teach history.
There you go.
And he also has a double barrel shotgun, which he calls Two Boom.
I like that one a lot.
It's cute.
that makes sense.
He's kind of childlike,
Not
but very
one boom, but two boom.
childlike and frightening.
Childlight or a fucking idiot.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going a little different with our characters this time.
They've all been so smart and intelligent
Yes.
in the past.
Yeah, we're known for that. Austin, what do you got over there?
Well, I can't believe you guys brought up Canadian cowboys because that's what I was fucking going to do. So I am Vincent Kellogg.
Oh,
Nice. Good one. Yeah.
He is a cursed and vengeful gunslinger with a phobia of waterfowl.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. He's Canadian.
As we were developing our characters, one of the big touch points is on hindrances. For every hindrance you take, you can get a few extra points to go towards attributes and skills and things like that. And of course, I took the maximum because not only does that give me the proper handicap that a character like mine deserves, but I also just was able to strategically add a few more skill points. And it makes character creation more fun because you've got some more specifics to work with.
That's right.
So my character is, number one, he's vengeful. This is probably another one of the heroic, naive hero types. Think the Lone Ranger if he was a fucking moron.
You're playing a vengeful Canadian?
Yeah, there aren't many.
Yeah, well, no wonder you had to immigrate to the United States.
They kicked me out.
The only vengeful Canadian I can think of is Lorne Michaels.
I also, you get extra points for if you accept a phobia. He has anatidophobia. I think that's how that's spelled.
Scared of tits.
He's scared of waterfowl, ducks and geese,
Yeah.
Appropriate.
and cursed, which doesn't actually affect any actions of mine or anything. It just gives Kyle an extra Benny at the beginning of the session.
Yes.
Okay. Which just gives him some extra meta currency. Very skilled at riding and tracking and shooting and fighting and stuff like that. And I mentioned his real name is Vincent Kellogg. Of course, no one calls him that. His nickname is Vince Kill.
Everybody calls him Vincent Kellogg. Yeah.
Oh, I should have also mentioned that Crackety has a couple of hindrances, one of them being clueless, and the other one is night terrors.
And didn't you take the extreme version where you're basically just tossing and turning and screaming the entire night and people next to you can't sleep?
Yes, exactly. Just literally screaming all night long.
awesome.
All right. Corey, tell me about your completely normal character.
Well, he is an arcane huckster.
Yeah.
Goes by the name David Bagoshet. Nickname, Colostomy Dave. It's because he's got one of the first colostomy bags. Made out of burlap, it is. Or maybe corn silk. I don't know.
So there's another way we could take it. You could do that, or you could Deadlandsify it, where they have this new material called Ghost Rock, which is like a super fuel.
Yeah.
And you could have some ridiculous steampunk colostomy bag.
Ooh, cool.
Or you can make it out of gingham.
Wicker.
It's just a basket.
So, Arcane, he's got powers. Spells and stuff, so he's like a Western wizard.
Yeah, that's essentially correct. Hucksters are gambling magicians.
Yeah, spell casting and what have you.
Yeah.
But he's still got guns
Sure.
and a candle. So he's got some hindrances as well. He's got a chronic disease, which leads to his name of Colostomy Dave.
Yeah.
He's got the plunkets. It essentially means like where his navel should be. He's got butthole belly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plunkets.
his umbilical went
I'm glad he explained it.
went the other way.
I'm glad he explained it because it sounds like the name of a family on some sitcom surrounding Nate Bargatze or some shit.
Well, so his chronic disease, I have to subtract 1 to any roll to resist fatigue. He's also a heavy sleeper. So if we're sleeping and like evil magic rattlesnakes attack or something,
Okay, that's a good one. I'm going to write that down.
okay, I would have to make a notice roll at -4 to wake up.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. But, he's a heavy sleeper. The screeching from Crackety Jones will not bother him. And he's got a horse named Neil.
I forgot. I'm glad you said that. Vince Kill has a horse named Richter.
Yeah, they're all named after Patreon subscribers. So,
And, of course, it wouldn't be a bastard quest if our animals didn't have horrible, disfiguring illnesses.
they're usually pretty mild. I don't know. I think this started when we played the One Ring.
It did.
Yeah.
Because we had a Colby, the horse with asthma.
Yes.
Right, because in that game, there are different qualities of animals you can get.
Yeah.
And of course, our characters were brand new, and so they had the least quality, which is
Yeah.
how you got Colby the asthmatic horse.
But typically we've continued that in any game that has horses. So this isn't something that's in the game rules, but we've given hindrances to our horses too. Neil has eczema.
Just,
Crackety Jones's horse Grits. He also has night terrors.
Oh no. I don't like thinking about that. Never heard a horse scream.
just a horse screaming in the middle of the night. The other horses are trying to get away from him.
It's disturbing.
What do horses dream about?
The little-known sequel to Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
You dream about riding on the backs of humans.
God.
That's the glue factory.
Well, my horse, Kyle,
Yeah.
Richter, Richter's possessed.
Oh,
God.
by what?
Well, my horse is actually my curse, you see. I was given this horse by a mysterious witch on the trail, and he's fast as lightning, but god damn it, he follows me everywhere. And I mean fucking everywhere. Kyle, if you want to figure out a mechanical way to do this, the idea that I had was that he sometimes like fucks up stealth checks or stuff
Sure.
like that just because he won't leave me the fuck alone.
Yes, but what is he possessed by? Is this a demon or possessed by the spirit of a duck?
He's possessed by the spirit of Canadian rudeness, Canadian malice. It's all embodied in this one horse.
Okay.
He's actually possessed by the spirit of my long forgotten but much beloved dead dog, Ricketts.
Okay.
Okay, so your horse is possessed by your dead dog, and you're cursed.
Yeah, and so
Good.
he just kind of acts like a dog. Like sometimes thinks he's a lap dog, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Takes forever to shit.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and I would also like to add that Crackety Jones's night terrors are caused by what he calls the evil antelope of Antietam. He's scared of an antelope.
Okay.
I mean, I probably would be too if I just saw one out in the field. Or...
Fuckers are dangerous, man.
You are members of the crack Idaho Rangers.
Oh.
Like the Texas Rangers, but slightly different. Because Idaho.
Well, wait, what year is this set in?
1880.
So towards the end of the Great Tater Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've wrapped up. It was, That was the Idaho version of the Civil War.
Yeah. Mostly just yelling.
Yeah. Minced words.
Yeah.
You're members of the Idaho Rangers. It's your job to ride the roads and sometimes the rails of Idaho territory.
Mostly we're just tasked with stopping anybody cooking potatoes au gratin.
Yeah.
It's illegal back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dangerous time.
But you patrol the ranches and the boom towns in Idaho. There's a lot of ghost rock being mined in the hills.
Sorry, when Corey said that, the first thing I immediately thought it was just roving gangs of scallopers.
You scalloping scallywag.
So Idaho is going through something of a boom period because there's ghost rock was discovered in Idaho, and so it's having an expansion that it didn't in real history. Boise is actually growing into be a significant city, and so your jobs of late have been much busier, running down missing settlers, negotiating with the few Indian tribes that still hang around the area.
Trying to figure out what the hell those Frenchmen are doing, cutting the potatoes like that.
Yep. and more secretly, that you don't talk about openly, you fight monsters and spirits and madmen.
Sure.
Because the U.S. government and the territory government also want to keep this on the down low. We don't want people going to settle the West to know that there's evilness rising up. Recently, you were dispatched to a town called Herc's Bluff. Herc's Bluff has been a mining town for a long time. It was originally gold and silver mines.
Now it's tubers.
Yep. If by tubers you mean ghost rock, then
Okay.
yes. And so this pretty small mining village has grown overnight to a town with a sizable population and all the growing pains that encompasses. They just got a rail line put in, connected them to back east, and the sheriff there, Luke McKinney, wrote the authorities up in Boise asking for a couple marshals to come down. And so they sent Rangers, Idaho Rangers.
And instead they got us.
Yeah. But the Rangers, across the West, the territorial Rangers have a good reputation. I mean, except the ones from South Dakota, which even though it's still part of Dakota has, it's South Dakota. Everyone knows that. And so you've just arrived in Herc's Bluff, riding your horses cross country. The town sprawls out at the bottom of a valley. You look down, you can see the main street. Of course, it's dirt. There's no metal roads here in Herc's Bluff. Not yet. But there's a rail line that runs to the edge of town, and the train is just pulling out the locomotive, steam billowing up. You can hear the whistle. It's heading further west, maybe to Oregon, maybe to California. You don't know. You can see people going about their day. It's the middle of the day, and in the distance, you can see all the mining works of the new companies that have shown up to mine the ghost rock. Lots of new construction going up around Herc's Bluff, and you make your way down the hillside into the town, into the sheriff's office.
Now, as they're riding on the range, Crackety Jones likes to sing cowboy songs.
He does? Okay.
Would you like to hear one?
Yeah.
No.
Going to Idaho, gonna increase my money tenfold. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-ki-yay. Gonna eat my pig slop from a golden trough. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-ki-yay.
Oh, that old cowboy song.
Damn, no wonder he has night terrors.
You come into the sheriff's office, doors open. And this is a classic Old West building, 2 windows on either side of the door. And the back door is open, so there's something of a breeze blowing through. This is Idaho, so it's not hot like New Mexico or Texas. It's a warm summer, though. The sheriff is in there behind his desk, feet up on the desk. There's a little cell inside with a bunch of drunks passed out, snoring. They look like miners. Sheriff, well, what can I do you for? He spits on the ground, a big black stream of tobacco.
I'm Claiborne Jones, but you can call me Crackety.
Hey out there, I'm Vince Kellogg. You can call me Vince Kell.
Nobody calls him that.
And how about you there, sir? He looks to Colostomy Dave.
Oh, hell, it's me, Colostomy Dave.
Clearly, Boise sent the top Rangers.
Don't mind the smell.
So what does your colostomy bag look like? Can you see it? Can they see it, or your clothes cover it, Corey?
Well, Dave was teased quite a bit as a child for walking around with a bag of shit hanging off of him. Over time, he slowly kind of disguised it as a saddlebag. So it's on the outside of his clothes, but he put a strap on it so it goes around his shoulder.
Yeah, maybe it's vaguely excusable.
It's a really squishy saddlebag. Yeah.
So the sheriff, Luke McKinney, based on Patreon member Luke McKinney, raises the brim of his hat up, looks square at Vincent and says, "Now, usually we keep the horses outside." Your horse has walked in right behind you. It is like looming over, and you hear a
He's nibbling. He's nibbling in my ear.
Yeah, it just crapped on the floor too. So if you could just hitch him up outside, that'd be grand, Ranger.
Yeah, I already did it once, but let me go out and try again.
Richter allows himself to be led outside, and when this is happening, the sheriff looks at Cracklin and Dave, and now I appreciate you boys getting down here as fast as you could. Got a big old problem I need the territorials to take care of, and that he means you guys, territorial rangers.
What can we do you for?
So there's I'm convinced it's some kind of gang that's moved into town, and people have been noticing things going missing. Valuables, gold, silver, jewels. I'd say it's probably a bunch of pickpockets from back east, maybe from some great megalopolis like Cincinnati or Baltimore. You know, some den of iniquity come out here to pollute our pristine West, spoil her virgin loins with the terrible phallus of crime. You know what I mean?
Sounds like an antelope.
No, probably not. But
Okay.
Thank you for your input. I would say it's a gang of pickpockets and cut purses.
It could be ferrets.
It's probably people, but animal input is, I'm not going to turn anything down. But you guys are new, so I figured that you could walk around unmolested through town, and these criminals, they're used to seeing me and the deputies. So I'm guessing they go to ground when we come about, but they might feel more brazen, try to run their gamut, their game, their dong of crime around you guys.
Well, I reckon I can go out there and mill about. I'm real good at milling about. I mill about all the time. When I was a kid, my mama used to tell me, that Crackety, he mills about better than any kid I've ever seen. Crackety Jones is good at milling, I tell you.
All
Yeah,
right.
we could go out and draw out this gang of outlaws.
All right.
And kill them.
Well, if you could just arrest them, that'd be good, because people like a hanging. People in our town like to see justice done. They like to see those slack testicles of crime pulled yanked tight
Lord.
by the noose of justice.
All right, well, we're going to get to work because I really appreciate you breaking things down for us, but your metaphors are upsetting.
I feel they're normal.
I agree. We're going to stop this tallywhacker of crime.
That's right. When I find this PP of crime, I'm going to introduce it to my Bowie knife,
Now,
Genie.
why are you boys being crude? It's a nice town we have here.
It's going to be limp when we're done with her.
Just get on out of here and do your jobs, Rangers.
Penis.
You filthy-minded.
Well, I think I'm going to mill right over to the saloon and have me a sarsaparilla. You know I love that sarsaparilla. When I was a boy, my mama used to say, that Crackety Jones, he loves sarsaparilla more than anybody I ever seen. I love sarsaparilla.
You think I'd let in my horse?
No.
So you guys leave the sheriff's office. There are numerous saloons, but there is one directly across from the sheriff's office, right on Main Street. It's tall, 2 stories, looks packed, and the sign says Cassiola's Saloon, based, of course, on Patreon member Dominic Cassiola.
Dave kicks the door open, guns blazing. Can we just do that?
I don't care.
No, okay. No.
So, yeah, you go to the saloon through the swinging doors. It's full. There's obviously some townsfolk in nicer clothes, but a lot of it is minors.
Does it get really quiet when we walk in?
Not at all.
Oh, damn.
Doesn't slow down. There's
Well, it does for the moment that the horse sticks his head in the fucking door.
We don't serve their kind.
Vince kind of ushers him out.
the droid bartender stares down the horse. We don't serve their kind. Beep, boop. No, you guys go in. You get posted up at the bar. There's some gambling going. Mostly people playing cards. There's some obvious prostitutes walking around, but mostly people are just drinking.
300 drops of whiskey. Here's a coin.
The bartender comes over, dark complexion, big mustache. Welcome to Cassiola's. I'm Dominic. I'm the bartender, proprietor, innkeeper, brothel keeper. How can I help you, gents? You look thirsty. Whiskey? This is the Old West. It's all we drink, except of some of the other things I have, like sarsaparilla, tequila, Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah, we're plenty thirsty. We've come here with lots of money to spend. and we're going to spend most of it here if anybody overhears us and has questions about our wealth.
Okay, foreigner. And he cleans a mug, and what do you have?
I'll have a mojito.
Coming right up.
I'll have me one of them sarsaparillas.
What the hell's that?
It's a drink.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I think he's an antelope.
Do you have any milk?
Gross.
Ooh.
The bar goes quiet.
I just hear a lot of guns cocking. We don't cotton to calcium around here.
No, he gives you a funny look, but I can get that for you if you want.
I appreciate it.
He runs out back and actually milks a cow.
You boys hungry? You want some food?
You have any muffins?
We don't, but I got something even better. He just puts a bucket of potatoes on the bar. Completely raw.
Dave just starts eating one like an apple. That's good right there.
It says, what are you in town for? Now, are you guys prominently displaying your ranger badges?
Yes.
We're here to kick the scrotum of crime.
So you've been talking to the sheriff.
Yeah, I don't think we're displaying our badges quite yet. Vince was trying to speak loudly about the wealth we're going to spend, hoping to maybe draw the ear of one of these gang members.
Dominic brings you your drinks, then goes off to help other customers. You guys sit at the bar, engaging in some light conversation with the people around you and with each other. Everyone make a notice roll.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, meanwhile, Crackety is not eating his potato. He's taken out his Bowie knife and carved a face into it.
Okay.
He puts it in his pocket.
All right. I have a notice of D6.
D4 for Colostomy Dave.
Now remember that you will also roll a wild die
Okay.
alongside.
And that's a D6, correct?
Yup.
Okay.
Crackety does not have a very strong notice. He's just at a D4.
Well, I mean, his potato's talking to him. I was born in a field.
Shh.
They're all going to hear me.
All right. And our standard difficulty is 4.
Yep. Standard difficulty's 4. There's no modifiers to the test.
All right. I got a 4.
I got a 5 in my wild die.
Crackety got a 2.
So Crackety's talking to his potato and does not notice this.
Well,
But both Vincent and Dave see a dusty old miner kind of bent over, shuffling away from the bar, going through the crowd, heading towards the door. And as he is going, he just deftly slips his hand in a man's coat, and you see the golden glint of a pocket watch come out and go in the miner's pocket. And he's heading to the door.
Hey, psst, shitbag, did you see that?
dear Lord. He can't help it. I seen that shuffling SOB. Let's track his ass down.
All right. Crackety, let's go.
Can I get that mojito in a to-go cup?
They give you one.
Thank you.
So you guys are not going to confront the pickpocket here. You're going to follow him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. See if he'll lead us to other pickpockets.
Can I get 2 straws?
They give you 2 straws. They're corn husk straws for environmentally friendliness.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, why don't you follow him down the street he's walking on, and I'll always stay a block to the side.
So he walks down the street a little bit, then turns into an alley. If you're following close enough to make sure he doesn't get out of your sight, you're going to need to roll stealth.
Okay.
Now, there are group tests in this game.
How does that work?
So, cooperative roll, if you're all cooperating on some kind of task, you pick a lead character, and then the other 2 make a roll, and the lead character gets a +1 to their roll for every success, and they get another +1 for every raise that the other cooperating players get.
Okay. Well, I have a 4D in stealth, so not good.
Same.
I have a D6, but as I walk down the street, my horse is also running up behind me and sticking his hand under my hand like he wants head pats.
Yeah,
Your
that's
horse-
exactly what he wants.
Your horse sucks.
I'm going to shoot that fucking horse.
So who is you don't all have to be like the lead. It could just be one person that is doing the stealth test and the others are hanging back far enough to follow their friend.
Okay. Well, Vince has the highest die, so
Yes.
I think it's pretty obvious.
All right, yeah, that's fine. That works.
All right, well, yeah, I'll lead the way.
So a D4 and a D6 for us.
If you're helping, yes.
Okay.
Though this isn't in the rules, but I'm going to say if you botch the help roll, then there's a -1 to Austin's roll.
Okay.
Okay. Rolled a 6.
Got a 3 and a 1.
So Corey, you failed, but Todd, you rolled a 6, so you can roll again. Mm-hmm. Or roll another D6.
That's a 4.
So that's at least one raise, right?
Yeah, that's a success and a raise. So that would give Austin a +2. Corey failed, so it's a -1. So a total of +1 to Austin.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled a 1 and a 2. So I rolled a total of 3.
So you are following this guy, and that's when Richter comes up and starts trying to put his big horse nose in your pocket, searching for treats, and you have to keep pushing him away. And as you're doing this, he backs up and kicks over a bucket, which is full of
Parrots.
They all fly away in a colorful cloud.
I was gonna say it was
Draw the most attention.
it was outside a hardware store, and it was full of like tools that clatter all over the ground.
That makes
on
more
the
sense.
slap boards.
Oh, okay.
It was full of tambourines.
And the man
Oh,
looks.
it was outside the Wild West tropical pet store.
Yeah.
Well,
The old miner looks back and sees Vincent, and you try to look casual, but Richter's just eyeballing the guy.
Dave jumps behind the display of beta fish.
Yeah. The old miner goes, "Ooh, that horse is giving me a stink eye," and he starts shuffling faster down an alley, trying to make his escape.
I know. What did I tell you about throwing fits there, Richter?
Richter.
Come on, let's go.
He manages to look abashed.
And Vincent just swings astride the horse and takes off after the miner.
All right. So you ride around the corner, and the miner, he jumps on the back of a doggy. "Come on, mule! Come on, Ross! Get going!" And he's hitting the mule with a switch. And the mule goes, "Meow," and it gallops away. So I know what Vincent is doing. What are Cracklin and Dave?
It's crackety.
Crackety.
Cracklin's not bad, though.
Yeah.
Cracklin makes as much sense as Crackety.
It's true.
What are Crackety and Dave doing?
Crackety and Dave.
That's the Hobbs and Shaw of this universe.
Yeah.
Crackety and Dave. You can pursue, or you can just leave it up to Vincent.
Yeah, Crackety is gonna whistle for. Well, no, he's tied. He's gonna go and unhook Grits from the hitching post.
Gotcha.
And follow in the pursuit.
All right.
Hang on, Potato Pete. We're going on a ride.
Whee!
Potato Pete is what he named his potato with the face on it.
I gathered.
I like how we sort of like, the sheriff was like, just go out there and hang around and everything. And like within 5 minutes, we're like on horses chasing someone.
Get to know the town. Get the son of a bitch.
Are we close to our horses? Can we get on them pretty quickly and give chase?
Yeah, relatively. You didn't go that far.
Okay.
You can always run back to your horse.
Okay. Well, Colostomy Dave actually, to help him get to the horse faster, pulls the plug on the bag and sprays it in front of him and like slides towards Neil.
Okay.
Fucking terrible.
It's gross.
Yeah, those night terrors don't seem so bad now, do they?
Well,
A number of people run screaming once they realize what it is.
it's one of them shit sliders. Get the kids.
So Crackety and Grits and Dave and Neil are riding after
Why do we do this?
Vincent and Richter, who are chasing the old miner on his mule Ross. But really, what's going to determine this is Vincent and Richter. Are they going to be able to catch the miner on the mule? I hope so, because it's a mule and you have a full-fledged horse.
Okay. Can we do this as a group roll again?
You know what? Sure, that'd be fun.
Okay.
I have riding at a D4.
I have riding at a D6.
I also have riding at a D6.
Yeah, I mean, I guess since Austin is in the lead, he should roll again, and Todd and I will help.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah, and the miner is he's just a minor NPC, so he just has a D4.
Yeah, we'll be behind bump drafting him to make him go faster.
Right, sure.
Like they do in NASCAR.
Well, Colostomy Dave sprays down the road in front of him.
Oh, God.
All right, so Corey, Todd, roll your dice.
I got a 4.
Got a 4 in the D4.
Okay, so that's +2 for Austin.
Cool. It's a good thing because I got a 1 and a 2, so I got a
you
4.
Fucking suck, dude.
All right,
It's
Hey,
back.
The old Austin is back.
Yay, welcome.
I'm gonna roll for the miner. He rolled a 1.
Okay.
Get going, Ross. So at some point outside of town on a trail, the mule just stops. and the miner is hitting it with a switch. Come on, no more! And you guys just slowly trot up to him.
The mule has the gout.
Yeah. The mule, Ross looks around, looks at you guys, and starts eating some grass. The miner looks at you guys. Well, I guess I know why you came after old Russell.
Yeah, take a guess there, buddy.
Yeah, the miner's name is Russell, based on Patreon member Matt Russell. It's on account of my good looks. He spits in his hand and slicks back his hair. Well, I'll take all of you, I guess. We can make out on those rocks.
No, sir, we was chasing you because we saw you steal something.
Did not.
Did too.
He crosses his arms.
We've been tasked to castrate the pecker of crime in this area.
Well, I see you met the sheriff. He's a weird guy.
Colostomy Dave really took the sheriff's philosophy to heart.
That's right, Dave. We're here to sever the willy of malfeasance.
I'll just give you guys the stuff I stole. We don't have to do no severing.
No, I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to talk to you first. And Vincent kicks him off the donkey.
He lands in a pile of limbs and coat, and he gets to his feet. That was unnecessary.
Well, I'm slightly vengeful. So,
Well.
of course, my vengeful hindrance is just a minor one.
I'll tell you guys what you want to know. If you don't hurt me, promise to let me go.
Yeah, where's the gang you've been running around with?
Well, it's up at the old Donovan mine. We used to mine for gold. Then that petered out, and then Ghost Rock got discovered. And old Donovan Mining Company, they moved all their stuff over to different Ghost Rocks. But me and the boys, we'd keep trying to find gold. But then we just, for some reason, we just started to steal stuff.
Does your gang have a name?
Donovan Mining Company boys. No, I don't know why we do it. We just keep it all in the bottom of the mine. Ain't nothing weird going on. So don't think about that.
Well, he's obviously lying to us about something. Can I use persuasion to try to get more info out of him?
Sure.
Okay. I have a D8 in persuasion.
Nice.
So D8 in the wild die. That's a 5.
What does Dave say to him?
Tell you what there, Russell. You need to give back the watch you stole, but we'll let you keep that chinchilla you took from the pet store if you tell us what this gang's up to.
Well, I guess I will. We just started stealing stuff because, well, I ain't seen it myself, but you can feel it when you're in the mine. And you notice this guy has like this weird like vein of gold running through his right eye. It's just barely visible, but when he stands in the sunlight in the right way, you can see it glint. Whispers, when you get deeper in the mine, it just makes you want to steal stuff and take it back. I never went down below. We all left that to Bryce. He took stuff down there and gave it to the Great One. I just want to get out of this town.
What's that, Potato Pete? Introduce him to the Gene Genie and make sure he's telling the truth? Well, all right.
I'd cut his guts out.
Crackety is going to pull out the Gene Genie and use his intimidation to make sure that the miner's being straight with us.
All right.
That's a D8 in intimidation. Here we go, a D8 and a D6 wild. Got a 6, so I get to roll again. Rolled a 3 on that one, so plus 6, that's a 9.
Which is a raise.
It is a raise.
So the miner gets down on his knees. Oh, please don't use that knife on me. I'm just a simple old miner named Russell, and I ain't done nothing wrong except some light thievery.
What's that, Potato Pete? Make Russell take us to the mine and tell him we want to join in some kind of a ruse? Sounds good to me. You heard, Potato Pete, Russell. You're going to take us to that mine and you're going to introduce us to your friends.
Are you talking to that potato you got in your hand?
It's Potato Pete.
Well, okay.
Don't question where the good ideas come from there, bud.
You fellas are some of the strangest lawmen I ever did see, but okay.
I'm going number 2 right now.
So there's a little more conversation as Russell explains where the mine is and where he'll lead you, and tells you there's about half a dozen members of the Donovan Mining Company boys up in the old mine.
Sounds dangerous.
I'm down.
So he's not armed or anything, right?
No, he's
Okay.
not.
Tell me this, Russell. Does the rest of the gang limp like you? Or they got pistols and rifles and other things?
We got miners' picks and shovels, and we got chains, and we got rocks, and Bryce has a big pistol, because on account of him being the boss.
Yeah, so I was a little worried about that going up against numbers, but if there's only one gun involved,
as far as he knows, yeah.
Okay.
They were minors. They weren't
Okay.
a bandit gang or anything like that.
They just got possessed by the golden eye.
Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Happened to me when I was 13 and
Yeah.
the N64 came out.
Yeah. Russell leads you deeper into the hills, and soon enough, into the side of a cliff is the stereotypical entrance to a mine, the square-shaped hole with the wood slats.
Shaped like a dragon's mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a rough camp set up outside it with some tents and a campfire, and you can see a few people milling about. As you approach, you guys are just going in acting like you're trying to join the gang, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you approach, a big man with a 10-gallon hat and a pistol on his belt stands up, walks over, and crosses his arms. Russell? Who the hell you bringing out to the mine?
I'm Crackety Jones.
My name's Colostomy Dave. Don't ask what it means.
Yeah, my name's Vince Kill.
And this big man's eyes are so shot through with streaks of gold that they're almost a solid color.
We was wondering if we could join up with your gang.
Well, you got any tribute?
Yeah, we do. We actually killed a few lawmen on our way here. We got their badges. Check this out. Vince hands over the ranger badges that they have.
Oh, this'll do nice. So who's going to persuade him that you actually want to join the gang? Which of you has a good persuasion?
I have a D8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Can we do a help roll?
Well, I'm going to say you're going to get a +2 from the badges just having those. So
Okay.
I'm not going to let Vincent help because that's more than enough.
Okay.
Okay.
So we do need some stinking badges.
Yeah, but Crackety can help you.
Okay.
Rolling my persuasion? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but remember, if you fail, you add a -1 to the roll.
All right. That's a D4. Got a 4 on the D4.
Cool.
Nice.
That's a +1 to Corey, right?
Yeah, so you're at +3 right now, Corey.
Okay. D8. So I got a 7 on my D8, but I got a 6 on the wild die. It kind of makes more sense to roll another D6 then.
Absolutely.
That's a 5, so 11 total plus 3 is 14.
So that's 2 raises.
Cha-chow.
Bryce, it's who he introduced himself as, Bryce McLean, raises his arms wide. Welcome to the Donovan Mining Company, boys! Ha ha! We worship an under God. He wants gold and silver. I'll take you to meet him. He's going to love to meet you.
That was easier than I thought.
Bryce, this is Potato Pete.
Hi, Potato Pete. Do you want to join the gang?
Crackety holds the potato up to his ear. He says yes.
Wonderful! Everyone is accepted. Miners, the mad, murderers. The golden god does not matter. All that matters is the tribute. Yeah, he leads you into the mine. He takes a lantern near the entrance, turns it on, and there's all the detritus that you would expect in an Old West mine. What you don't expect is when you get to a ghost rock powered elevator built into the side. He winches open the door. You guys get on it. The metal creaks. He winches the door closed. There's this electrical buzzing. He flips a switch, and judderingly and haltingly, the elevator begins to descend into the depths of the mine.
So while we're riding the elevator down, can Colostomy Dave roll his occult skill to see if he knows anything, what he's muttering about with the golden god and all that kind of stuff?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. He has a D8 in occult. I kind of doubt you guys have occult as a skill.
I do not.
Okay. So I'm rolling solo here. And that's 2 fucking 3s.
There's lots of weird and strange monsters and powers in the Weird West, so you've never heard of this sort of thing, but that necessarily indicative of anything in particular.
He's heard of the Silver Satan, but other than that.
Yeah. Everybody's heard of Silver Satan.
Yeah.
The elevator lurches to a halt, and you figure you've got to be at least 50, 60 feet underground. He winches the door open, and there's eternal blackness in front of you. He lifts the lantern. You guys walk down a mine shaft. He, seemingly at random, he takes one path, and then another turn, and then another. And soon enough, you come into a large chamber with this bowl dug in the center, and there's just piles of silver and gold coins and watches and rings and necklaces. Just must be tens of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry in this big heap at the base of this bowl carved out of the stone. And as you're standing there, he tosses the watch and then the badges. Gifts to you, great one! And something like lurches within the pile, there's this ripple. The surface of the treasure shimmers like the sand does in Dune when a sandworm is coming. And this, worm head pops out. The head itself is probably about the size of a dog, but you can see the worm body is clearly even larger under the treasure, and it has just these rows of bloody teeth, and it opens wide and hisses, and everyone needs to make a test against its fear effect.
So, spirit?
So, spirit at -2.
Oh, God.
It's that thing time.
Great one! They come to bask in your radiance!
Crackety Jones, because of his night terrors, that automatically gives him a -1 on spirit rolls. So I'll be rolling at a -3.
Okay.
And my spirit is a D6.
Colostomy Dave has a D10 in spirit.
Oh,
All right.
wow. Vince has a D4. Ah, damn, I rolled a 4 on the D4, but that was my max, so I only got a 2.
Well, Colostomy Dave rolled a 1 on the wild die and a 3 on his D10.
Well, Crackety Jones rolled a 4, but he's rolling at -3, so that's a 1.
Well, you guys have bennies. You each have 2 of them.
Okay. I hadn't made note of that yet.
I will spend a Benny.
Same.
And just re-roll.
Yep, you can re-roll.
Ooh, there's a 6 on my wild die.
Same here. Total of 9. -2, so 7.
I got a total of 5.
Rolled a 5 -3, so 2.
Potato Pete is just screaming and terrified, and that makes Crackety afraid. Roll a d20 to see what happens. You're rolling on the fright table, Todd.
The fright table.
Yeah, and you'll add a +2 to your roll because of the worm's fear effect.
It's an 11 plus 2 for 13.
Minor phobia. The character gains a minor phobia hindrance somehow associated with the trauma. What's your fear of the antelope? Is that an actual phobia?
That's the cause of his night terrors.
Right, and you already have that at major, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, you're convinced this is the antelope wearing a worm mask. And so your fear of antelopes is now developed into a phobia of antelopes and deer.
Okay.
So you have a minor phobia of deer. The greed maggot, which is what this is, raises itself even higher over you. Its flesh ripples. You hear Bryce say, "No, don't attack us, greed maggot. These are friends, right?" And he looks at you, and that's when the greed maggot attacks. And we'll have that combat next time.
Oh,
You face the greed maggot of the Donovan Mining Company.
just like John Wayne.
Well, that was our first foray into Deadlands.
I like it.
Yeah, this is fun so far.
You guys have done well. You didn't murder the miner. You followed him. That was smart.
We've dealt with enough old-timey miners in these games.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
we know there's no point in killing them because
No.
there'll be another one in the next session.
That's right. That's the way that works.
Yeah.
I bet if we play Good Society again, there'll be a miner in that.
Well, man, East India Company.
That's
Just
right.
all old prospectors.
But no, that was fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you have very ridiculous characters, which is
Very
a shock.
much so, yes.
Well, we picked up our die rolls there at the end, and we've been rolling the whole game with Norse Foundry dice.
That's right. There's the Norse Foundry Mine, where they mine the ghost rock to make their dice, and you can order them online. Just go to norsefoundry.com, pick out your dice, and go to checkout. And when you're at checkout, enter promo code CHAM. That's CHAM, CHAM, for the Bastard Quest 10% discount. And also, thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River Mining Company.
They got bourbon
They've got a greed worm in the bathroom.
Yes.
It layers in a pile of treasure.
and a bucket if you need to dump your bag.
And also, thank you to all of our listeners and our patrons. You're the reason we keep doing this, and we hope you're enjoying what we do.
Yep. A lot of patrons featured in this week's episode.
There was, Herc Oarsman for Herc's Bluff, and Bryce McLean, Matt Russell, Luke McKinney, Dominic Cassiola,
Green Maggot.
Greed Maggot, yep. Thanks, I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.